Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy Barton. I read books of all different types. Thriller, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, nonfiction, all the different things. So if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe down to my channel below. It really helps my channel grow. In today's video, of course, we have the one with my TBR Friends themed game, where I took the game from Friends, where they're competing for, where Chandler and Joey are competing against Rachel and Monica, and I turned it into a game board. If you haven't seen it before, I have a playlist underneath here to watch all of the games. However, you're going to want to pay attention to this one because I have completely changed up the game. And I know last month I completely changed up the game and I made all these cute little prompts and that went away. And I mentioned this in my last vlog, but in case you didn't catch the vlog, I am a mood reader through and through, and I am finally committing to being a mood reader, and so I wanted to figure out how I could still have a fun TBR game and also use this, and I finally figured it out. So here's what we are doing. I have taken these 4 categories: fears and pet peeves, ancient history, literature, and it's all relative, and I'm keeping those, but they have specific things now. So for example, fears and pet peeves, any number within fears and pet peeves is now from an author that I have never read from before. And then ancient history is an author that I have read from before. Literature is going to be series, and It's All Relative is going to change every month based off of what I want it to be. This month it is bookish trends, or trending books. And then we still have our lightning round, and I'm still going to do that like normal. 6 rolls, all of that stuff. Now each of the numbers has a specific book tied to it, and each color is a different genre. So I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet, and I'm actually going to look at it to see what the different genres are, because I forgot if I look at this. But I have pink is romance, blue is fantasy / sci-fi, green is thriller and horror, orange is lit fic and nonfiction, and then yellow is my choice for genre. So that I get more choices on the board. And basically, I went through my shelves and I picked 40 books that I know I want to prioritize sooner than later, that if I was to pull them off of a TBR prompt, I would probably read them and be excited to read them. And so I'm going to mood read in that way. And so what will happen is I'll still do my 6 rolls like always, and we'll see what I get, what book I get. But if during the month I decide I don't want to read that and I switch it out for any book I want, doesn't have to be a book on here, it could be any other book that I have on my shelf, I'm going to give myself a point. And once I get to 5 points, I'm doing a punishment, but a fun punishment. And what is the fun punishment? I'm just going to ask a friend to go on my TBR on Goodreads and pick a book for me to read. So that it's a book that I know that I want to read, that I already have prioritized. And so that is going to be my punishment. They are going to pick randomly for me. I am all about self-love and not punishing myself with like a nightmare prompt of reading an 800-page book or having to read a book from an author I've hated. I'm not doing that crap. I'm still going to mood read, but my friends are going to get to pick what I read partially as well. And so I think that's going to be fun. And so I figured I would let you see what books are on here. And when I read a book, I will get rid of it and I will put a new book in its place. So every month I will tell you what books I read and which books I added. But I'm just going to put this picture on the screen and let you see all the books, and I'll go through them really quick. So in new to me authors, we have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, The Atlas 6 by Olive Blake, Lessons in Chemistry. If I don't know the author's name, I'm just going to skip it. Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garment, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors, Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, Blood Mercy by Vila Roth, Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. Then we have authors I've read from before, and we have Saving Noah by Lucinda Berry, Heartless by Elsie Silver, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult, The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker, One True Loves by TJR, Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier, Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home by Jessa Hastings, and The Death of Vivek Oji by Okoike Emezi. Then we have series. These are all series that I've either started or I need to start. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent, Priest by Sierra Simone, Savage Lover by Sophie Lark, Beartown by Frederick Bachman, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Zodiac Academy 2, Ruthless Fae by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torrey, and Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And then we have trending books. So these are books that I found that I see all the time everywhere. King of Wrath by Anna Huang, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, I think, What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, Twisted Love by Anna Huang, and A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And yes, I have already read A Court of Thorns and Roses, but that is the only book I have read. And so I was hoping to restart the series, and so I added that on there for that purpose. And so those are all of the books that are on my TBR that I'm very excited to get to. So now we're just going to start with the rolls and see which books are on deck for this month. But before we do that, I'm just going to say, and this is hopefully going to be the last time that this happens where I didn't read any of the books from last month, but I read not one. I read not a single one that was on that list. I wasn't in the mood to. I read mermaid books. I read sapphic books. I mood read, and I started my mood reading journey, honestly, last month. So I did terrible in June, and we're going to be better in July. Okay, roll time. All right, so roll number 1 was 19, and so that is in It's All Relative, which is Bookish Trends. So this could possibly be a book that I don't even have. I'm really hoping I have it. Oh gosh, okay. So 19, it's yellow. Okay, so let me scroll down to yellow. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, let me go grab it. It looks like I'm finally starting the Twisted Love series by Anna Huang. I am very excited. I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I'm actually really glad that this is the first book on deck. So this one, I believe, is about Alex. And he's not a very nice guy. Apparently he has a tragedy that's haunted him for most of his life, but he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, and he starts falling in love with her. And then Ava is trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember. She ends up connecting to her brother's best friend in some way. I don't know why. And theirs is a love that was never supposed to happen, but when it does, it unleashes secrets that could destroy them both and everything they hold dear. I'm very excited. I'm glad I'm finally going to be getting to this so that I can start this series. I've heard that this one is not as strong as the other ones, but you know what? It's okay. I'm excited that this is the first book on our stack. All right, on to roll 2. Roll 2 was 36, which is literature, which is a series, and it is a green one. So which series am I either starting? Oh, that's thriller and horror. So I'm starting a thriller and horror one possibly. And it was kind of hard because I didn't have as many thriller and horror ones to choose from. Ooh, interesting. I'll be back. Okay, I'm actually excited to get to this. I need to renew the audiobook for this though because I kept denying it, and now I'm finally ready to read it. And that is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I have been wanting to read this. I have been wanting to start this series. So this one is just about 4 old men, I think, that meet weekly in the Jigsaw room to discuss unsolved crimes together, and they're the Thursday Murder Club. But then a local developer is found dead with a mysterious photo left next to the body, and they find themselves in the middle of their first live case. So I'm very excited for this. I'm sure this is going to be super cute. I hope it's good. It might not end up being my thing. I don't know, because I read Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn, which is like a girl assassin old ladies group, and I didn't really like that. So I don't really know if like mystery murders are like my thing, but I'm willing to give it a try. On to roll 2 or 3. Okay, so ancient history is here, so we're getting all the different categories, and these are authors that I've read from before, and it is a yellow one, which means that I got to choose, and so I don't know what I picked. Let's see, shall we? For 49, I got a thriller, so I'll be back. Okay, so the thriller that I chose is Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier, and I chose this because I'm trying to get through all of Jennifer Hillier's backlist, and I currently only have 2 or 3 books left to do so, and so I am hoping that I will love this. Honestly, I've never given anything of Jennifer Hillier less than the 4 stars, so I'm sure I'm going to love this. And so this one is actually really scary, because this thing could actually happen to me, but it's never going to, because I never let my children out of my sight for even a second. But this is about Marin, and she's married to her college sweetheart, and then one day their son Sebastian is taken in like broad day. And so a year later, the search has gone cold. She and her husband rarely speak. She hires a PI, but instead of finding Sebastian, she learns that her husband is having an affair with a younger woman. And so she's like, I just lost my son. I'm not going to lose my husband too. And so she basically decides that she's going to get rid of this woman forever. And shit goes down like that. So I am terrified to lose my kids one day. I'm always watching them. Always watching them. I never take my eyes off them because I just don't want them to go anywhere. But I'm excited to see where this one goes because I love Jennifer Hillier. So this should be a good time. On to roll 4. So 20 is fears and pet peeves. We've hit all the categories. So now authors I've never read from before. And this is my lit fic / nonfiction section. So what did I choose? Oh, that's so exciting. exciting. Let me go grab it. Y'all, this is so exciting. I'm getting books that I genuinely want to read, like Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Melrose. I've been wanting to read this since I bought it over like a year ago, and so I could not wait for this. I'm pretty sure this is an age gap romance. Yeah, it's about 24-year-old British painter Cleo, and she's escaped from England to New York and is finding her place in the city when a few months before her student visa ends, she meets Frank, who's 20 years older, and he offers her the chance to be happy, the freedom to paint, and the opportunity to apply for a green card, but their impulsive marriage changes both of their lives and the lives of those close to them in the ways they could have never predicted. So it's an age gap romance, lit fic. I'm so excited. I literally have just looked at this cover and thought it is just gorgeous, and it speaks to me, and then I never prioritize it, and the time has finally come. On to roll 4. Alright, 38 is Fears and Pet Peeves, thriller and not thriller, horror. 38 is Fears and Pet Peeves. It is blue, which is a sci-fi fantasy, and I don't know which one I put there. So the one that I had actually put right there is The Atlas Fix by Olivia Blake, which I'm excited about because I was supposed to read that last month with my friends Brittany and Kelsey for their B&K book club, and I didn't. So I'm excited that I'm finally going to be getting to it. So I know this is a dark academia book, and it says each decade only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian Society, which is a secret society. Each of them has their reasons for accepting the invitation, even if it means growing closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies or risking unforgivable betrayal from their most trusted allies. And so they're not going to all survive the year. I'm very excited for this. Also, like, this is just really pretty. Like, it has, like, pictures of them and all. I can't wait for this. My friends absolutely loved it. I think they both gave it a 4 and a 5 stars, so I'm excited to see what that means for me. And on to roll 6. So 45 is also Fears and Pet Peeves, so we're just reading a lot from authors we haven't read from before, and it is lit fic and nonfiction, and the book, ooh, interesting. The book is a book that I was going to read this month, and I just know that I'm not going to get it to it in time, and so I'm actually very excited. And that is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I've been wanting to read this book ever since basically Gabby Reed's read it like a month ago and said it was beautiful, but I did have it on my list before, I just wasn't prioritizing it. But this one is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read, written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s. The letter unearths a family's history that began before he was born, a history rooted in Vietnam. So he was a witness to this undeniable love between a single mother and her son, and it's also a brutally honest exploration of race, class, masculinity, and our current American moment. So immersed as we are in addiction, violence, and trauma, the question of how to survive and how to make it of it a kind of joy. Yeah, so I'm sure this is going to have a lot of commentary. I'm very excited for this. I cannot wait for this. I'm very excited that I'm finally getting to it because everybody says how beautiful this book is, and so I'm excited to know for myself. And now it's time for the lightning round of Friends Trivia. I need to go get my trivia, and so we have the whole, if I get 3 of them right, I don't have to do an extra or a special roll and add possibly another book to my TBR, but we'll see. All right, 30 seconds on the timer, and begin. Which friend whitened their teeth? Ross. Which friend thought they kissed Ralph Lauren? Phoebe. Who told Rachel about Ross's indiscretion with the Xerox girl? Gunther. While dating a one-legged girl, what mistake does Joey make with her prosthetic leg? He threw it into the fire. What's the name of the one-legged girl who dates Chandler and Joey? Is it Piper? I think it's Piper. All right, let's see. Pause. With 7 seconds left. Ross was the one that whitened their teeth. Phoebe thought she kissed Ralph Lauren. Gunther was the one that told Rachel about Ross cheating. Joey threw it in the fire thinking it's a log. Oh, it was Ginger. Ginger, not Piper. Ginger. But I got 4 out of 5, which is exciting because I did the magic roll already just in case, and I was going to get an extra roll, and so I don't have to add an extra book, which is exciting. Which, if I was going to have added another roll, I would have rolled 16, and that would have been authors I've read from before and a thriller, and it would have been The Last Mrs. Parrish, which I'm not very sad about. I might just add that on, but I'm not going to add that on right now because I don't actually have to. So as of right now, this is my stack, and I'm very excited. I have 1 thriller, a mystery, a romance, or 2 romance, a fantasy, and a lit fic. This is very exciting, and these are all books that I actually want to get to sooner than later. So my game's finally working out for me the way I want it to. And now let me just tell you what other books I plan on reading for the month, because I have others, of course. I'm in a couple of book clubs, and with Haley Hughes' Pretty Girls Book Club, I won't know until basically the day before the month starts, what we're reading. But I know for Kayla's Literally Dead book club and for Gabby's book troop, they both choose the same one every time the new Riley Sager comes out. And so I am reading the only one left, which I will pop up a picture of the screen here or here. I don't remember what that one is about. All I know is that it's a gothic like thriller, and that I've heard that he's back on his A game, which is good because the only 2 books I've read of his are Survive the Night and The House Across the Lake, and those were both 2 stars. And so I don't know if he's for me, but I'm willing to give this a try. And so that's what I'm reading for that. For Riley Marie's Patreon, we are reading the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey. I've read the first 2 books, but I read it such a long time ago, like a year ago, that I might as well just reread them all. I do know all the audio are available on Audible, but you have to buy them all separately, and I'm not about spending 5 credits to get for like 100-page books. I'm just going to read them without the Audible and just go on my way. So it's like 100 pages per book, and that one is about a girl serial killer named Lana who is righting the wrongs and killing all the men that have like wronged her in the past, and she's also sleeping with the FBI agent that is looking for her, not knowing that it's her. And so it's a fun little like good for her revenge / like sleep with like your potential, you know, person that could lock you up forever type deal. Forbidden romance, if you will. Then for my own 23 in 2023, because I need to make sure that I'm actually prioritizing that, I am reading We Do What We Do in the Dark by Michelle Hart, which is an age gap forbidden romance between this young woman and this older woman. And it's like 200 pages long. It's super cute, super short. I was supposed to read it this month and I didn't, but I'm very excited to get to it because, like I said, it's very short. I have not heard too much about it, but I saw somebody share it on Instagram once and it looked really cute. And so I figure I'll read it. So that is what I'm going to prioritize. And then I'm also going to prioritize Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee because I need to finish this series. It's also like a 700-page book, and let's be real. When am I going to finish a 700-page book once I'm back at school full time? Like, I'm not. So I need to make it happen in July or it's not going to happen. And so I'm not going to say what happens in Jade Legacy because if I did, that would give away literally the whole book. So we're going to skip that. And for buzzword, the buzzword of the month, I believe, is weather-related words for Kayla's Literally Dead book. For Kayla's Books and Lala's Club, she has this buzzword challenge, and so every month is a different word. This month is weather-related words, and so I chose Project Hail Mary by Andy Ware, and I managed to snag the Audible exclusive audiobook on the audio sale, so I'm really glad that I did. And that one, I believe, is a guy that like goes to space with a couple of people and ends up by himself and has to, I'm not entirely sure what the premise is. All I know is that anybody that reads it, no matter what genres they mainly read, they all end up giving this 5-star. Even Chandler Ainsley gave this a 5-star, and she's a romance girly, and this is like a sci-fi fantasy book. So I have to know what is so special and magical about this book. I have to know for myself. So I'm very excited that I'm finally getting to that. Then I'm excited to be getting to the second book in the Daughter of No World series by Carissa Broadbent. I don't know the name of it. I'll pop up a picture of it here. I cannot even tell you what it's about because I haven't even read the first one yet, but I am reading it for a fantasy romance book club, and I'm currently starting. I just started the first book, but I haven't gotten to the second one, but I have the audio for all 3 because I got those in the Audible sale as well. So like I am going to read it. I just need to actually get up to it. And then I also am reading The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker, which is this thriller about this girl that when she's little kills somebody. And then when she's older, like 20 years later, she has a daughter, and I think it's finally coming out that like she killed someone or that something is happening and she has to save her daughter from making the same mistake or something to that effect. And I have only seen a couple people talk about this, and this thriller looked really good, and so I chose it for Besties Book Club, which if you're in Besties Book Club, we no longer do live shows because that's just it's not very conducive when we have such a small book club. So instead we're going to do Discord discussions. So make sure to join our Discord. It's always linked below all of my videos, and we will chat about our reads for the month there. Currently we are reading The Crown of Midnight for our Throne of Glass buddy read along, which is every other month. And then in July we're reading First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. I'm very excited for that book. And then I might have a couple other books or so planned for like signature vlogs, but you'll just have to find those out when they happen. And so those are all the books that I plan on reading in July. I'm very excited with the way that my TBR game functions now to work for me, not against me. Let me know in the comments down below what you are most excited to read for in July. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!